say it as, or call it a Black Week, but I wouldn't want to call it that. But on Saturday, disaster struck again, as when we thought that we had had enough of killings by suspected headsmen, there was another rampaging of killings in Plateau State, of different villages in Barking, Ladi, Mangu, and Rojuan local government areas, where about 120 persons were killed, and of course the villages, properties destroyed, and a lot of Nigerians complained about this, saying that there should be an end to these killings by suspected headsmen. The UN have criticized it, and of course top functionaries, the president, the vice president also, were not happy with situations in Plateau State. But before we discuss and analyze these issues, now let's take a look at some of the victims who would narrate the experiences of the Plateau killings.
Brother and my mother at home. Then they just come and enter our village. Then me, I come out from the house. I run. Then my mother, she's still in the house. Then they come and shoot her inside the house. Then me, I run. My brother, him too, is trying to run, but they shoot him in the road where he is running.
In the Eslands, one woman went to the farm. They went and killed him, and they also cut that boy. And the Fulani, we heard that the Fulani in Eslands, they said that this one is just a small boy. He's a cattle rearer, that this boy cannot kill. So from that time, we had gun shooting. After some time, then we see Soy. We see smoke, that they are burning houses in Soy. And Ngar and Yalwa, we just saw, we are in Takuluk, we are looking at the smoke. The smoke was there, that they have burned houses in there.
We do express our sympathy to the families of the victims who lost their life in the Plateau killings. And of course, even though we might not know how they felt, these victims, the families of these victims, have suffered so much. Families, people that they thought were their loved ones, been lost. And of course, he who has lost a loved one knows how dear and how very deep and sad that kind of situation is to them. Now, to my distinguished gentleman, Sunday Odebashi, now, what do you feel about these recent issues? I mean, we've been having attacks by suspected headsmen, and a lot of people have expected that the federal government should have done enough and taken proactive steps to curb the situation. Now, on Monday, the vice president visited the situation, and of course, the president also, President Muhammadu Buhari, on Tuesday also visited the place, but still, people are saying that there should be more proactive steps to curb the incessant killings in the country.
Well, it's rather unfortunate that such inhuman actions will be taken at a time that a country is on transition. Okay. Now, it's not about the government taking proactive steps. It's what was the government doing at the time these things were happening. Now, if you were privileged to have access to the locals, now the same report, the same response is moving around the communities where these killings have been going on. The same report in Southern Kaduna, the same report in Taraba, the same report in Benue, the same report in Plateau. And the local people are saying that while these herdsmen are killing, the security operatives are on ground, but they look the other side. Okay? Now, some will now say, okay, they were waiting for directive. What directive were you waiting for? When the duty for which Nigerian money is spent to pay you, you feed your family from there. Their duty is calling for your attention, and you say you are waiting for directive. Because this is a report for the locals. And you know T.Y. Danjuma also made talked about it. Yeah. So, Nigerians are seeing the failure of government, the failure of leadership, okay? The failure of the Nigerian state. Because when a state has a duty to perform, and when there's demand on the state to perform that duty and the state does not perform that duty, the state has failed. Now, in the social science scholarship, the state is the only organ of the society that has a monopoly of violence. Any day that there is an association or a group from anywhere with a superior monopoly of violence, then the state ceases to exist. Is the Nigeria state beginning to liquidate? Are we seeing a state in extinction? Because that is the question we are going to ask. Mr. President, he was there. Now, there were subsequent reports on Monday. If you had direct interaction with the locals, there were killings on Monday. Yes. Okay? The same backing lad you are talking about, people who went to Ginshishi village to bury the ones that they killed on Sunday were shot. They were shooting. And the locals said that they even went with security escorts. And the security people were there, and the shooting was still taking place. So what kind of government is in place? I think I would like to play.
All right, now while Sunday is really expressing his emotions concerning the issue, now let's take a look at this video clip where a group now is claiming that this Fulani headsmen now, they're based on the mission of land grabbing, and they're accusing and they're saying that the reason why the Fulani headsmen are attacking the villages is due to a land grab mission. Let's take a look at what this group is saying in this video clip.
As the international community continues to react to the killings in a number of communities in the central Nigerian state of Plateau, representatives of the victims say the systemic attacks are part of land-grabbing measures employed by the Fulani headsmen. In a chat with Galaxy News in Abuja Wednesday, they say the quest for grazing land for their cattle and not the reprisal for the rustling of their cattle is responsible for the killings by the Fulani militia.
We are tired of being IDPs. We want government to start treating our case as they are treating the Northeast case. Let government come in, take back our villages, and give it back to our people. We are tired of being IDPs. We are tired of receiving mattresses. We are tired of receiving zinc. At the end of the day, they even bring zinc to build which house is it when we have already been sacked.
When you look at the place that we have and you see that our people have been chased out, then suddenly you see the buildings that are there, they are being destroyed by the Fulanis. That is a fact.
Since the reports on the latest round of Plateau attacks went viral, the response of the security agencies, particularly the army, has been called to question.
If you check when it started and when security really reached to that place, it took them like almost 3 hours. It took them almost like 3 hours. And what the police are claiming that the terrain is not good for them to reach that place. But then, before security could reach our people, it took them not less than 3 hours. And before they could get there, the attackers have retreated.
And today we're talking about more than 200 people. What if it escalates more than this? Because we are always looking at the reactive approach to this crisis. We just bring in police and the rest. And when everything settles down, we just still go back to the same vicious cycle. We don't take proactive measures and say, okay, this intel that our people usually give the military and the police, have they been able to use it?
President Muhammadu Buhari, who has since visited the scene of the attacks, described it as a handiwork of politicians, while the Plateau State Governor has dismissed it as a communal clash. In the meantime, the body count from the latest attack in Plateau State has reached a little over 200.
Welcome back. You're still on to Editors Forum, exclusive to Galaxy Television. And of course, the video clip, the group was accusing the Fulani headsman now of land grabbing. Now, of course, we're joined by Emeka Madunago. Emeka Madunago, welcome to the show.
Thank you very much. Good afternoon, viewers.
Afternoon. Now, still where we left off now, and of course, in recent development now, President Muhammadu Buhari has approved 10 billion naira for the affected communities, and President Buhari made a statement now. He said it would be unjust for us to say that he's silent on the killings by headsmen. Now, let's start with a statement. Victor Ayo, what do you feel about that?
Well, Nigerians have the right to accuse the president of being silent, judging from the fact that I will always make reference to IPOB. Sometimes people say that, why do you always make reference to IPOB? In law, they say they set a precedence. When a particular judgment has taken place in the past and a similar case comes up, what happened? The judge will simply make reference to the case that have been decided before. So we are asking, why is the president not sweet about declaring the herdsmen as a terrorist group? These are people that are killing people. And he finds it so difficult to declare them as a terrorist group. But another group that was saying they want to go on their own, he declared them as a terrorist group, and the mighty hand of the military was visited on them. And today we are no longer hearing about IPOB. The leader of the IPOB, in the person of Nnamdi Kanu, nobody knows whether he's still alive or he's dead. Why is the same measure not be taken against the herdsmen? That's the question. So every Nigeria has the right to begin to suspect the president, because the measure he took against IPOB, which was not armed, he's not taking the same measure against the herdsmen. That is why Nigeria is suspicious. And again, the governor of Kano State, Ibrahim Gaduji, said that there's enough land for the herdsmen in his state that they should come there. Have they gone there? None of them have gone there. And yet, the same federal government wants to allocate about 179 billion, to begin to build ranches across the country. I've never seen a country like this. Australia is the largest country that produces cattle in the world. They didn't build ranches all over the country. Ranches were built in some secluded environment. Why is it that our Nigeria, we must have ranches across the country? That is the question we must answer. So every Nigerian has the right to begin to ask questions. Do you know that this place, the plateau that they just attacked of recent, they have changed the names of the villages? Are you not aware of that? They have renamed those villages. So if you go and attack somewhere, they say they are foreigners. Why are they renaming those places? These are the questions we must ask ourselves.
Yeah, I think one of the locals, we were talking with him on Tuesday, and he said that the people come, they invade communities, and that they are claiming that those part of the state belong to them. Yes. So they must take it, by force. Now that is what they communicate to them. So whenever they overrun them, they will tell them that the land belongs to them. So they occupy.
If the land belongs to you,
so they conquer and they occupy.
If the land belongs to you, where have you been? If the land belongs to you, where are you arming yourself to begin to take over your own land? I don't even understand. The land belongs to you, and you are coming from somewhere, you are fully armed. I came from somewhere, from community. I don't need to arm myself to go and say I want to do something on my own land. If I want to build a house in my own father's land now that is allocated to me, do I need to arm myself? So I'll be saying that there is compromise. And you see, we like to deceive ourselves. When you say the truth, they say this man, why? You say, there's a compromise. How can you have security agency in the place? And people are killing, and they are telling you that they did not get command. If they have shot them, will they get command before they react? They say they have never received command. No. They are using taxpayers' money to pay you. You are seeing people that are paying your salary being killed. You say you are waiting for command. But if you are shot, will you wait for command? So I have said it that this kind of system we are running, whereby we have a unitary system, whereby command comes from only one source, it's not going to take us anywhere. Until we restructure this, every state must have a state police. I keep on saying it. If we have state police, no matter how strong those people are, the state police and the community will regroup. Before the killings in Benue and Plateau started, they mop up their hands from there. Have we forgotten? Government mop up their hands from there. Before these people that are being called the foreigners started to kill innocent people. Is that how we are going to continue? I'm not a patriot to such a country. I'm telling you the truth.
All right, but the Amnesty International group now has actually accused the government of encouraging impunity by not handling this incessant killings. Emeka, what's your take on that?
Of course, they're very right. I think they are being mad because the government is totally responsible. From the president to the governors, they are totally responsible. The loss of one life is a disgrace, is a disaster. Because why? A lot of these people are actually in the same party, APC. And here they are running around circles like people who are still learning how to play politics. It's a disgrace. It's a total disgrace. The president ought to apologize to the nation for failing in his duty to secure Nigerians. You know, you heard when Donald Trump became president of the United States. What did he say? And one of his cardinal objectives was to secure America's borders and make Americans safe. Yes, you might say, okay, there are shootings here and there, but those things are nipped in the bud. It's not as if somebody goes shooting here, jumps to the next school, These are incidents. Yes, unfortunately, lives are lost, but it's not on this scale whereby criminals masquerading as Fulani herdsmen, criminals, terrorists, attack villages for 7 good hours in broad daylight, and not one security agent can challenge them. It is a disgrace. And President Buhari is totally complicit in this because, one, his actions in the past before he became president, where he went to challenge then Oyo State Governor Lamadeshino over the same issue, the problem between Fulani herdsmen and people in Adawaye community in Oyo State. We still remember how he, Marwa and some other people went there and what they met at the hands of Lamadeshino of Oyo State. And then now, today, you cannot rein in those people, but you can tell Southeast governors to tell IPOB not to operate. You can actually even tell South governors that they should talk to Niger Delta militants. Then why can't you, as a Fulani man, talk to these herdsmen that they are making things difficult for administration? What is going on? These human beings that are being killed. It's not goats, it's not cows. These are human beings. The death of one person diminishes all of us as Nigerians. It's a disgrace that the president has become a mourner-in-chief, a chief mourner, going from place to place, mourning and all that. What is going on? Is it that he's incapable of governing? Is it that he's incapable of securing Nigeria? And you know the unfortunate thing, these areas that are being attacked are surrounded by security establishments. The president has been told again and again, sack these security chiefs. They're incompetent, totally incompetent. All they know how to do is somebody criticize Buhari, they go and arrest him, search his house, be looking for what is not in existence. These people are totally incompetent. Sack these people. There are competent people in the Nigerian armed forces who can actually make this country secure. We've seen examples in the past. Kaduna used to be a hotspot. But we know what Ogomundia did when he was GOC of one division. We know what he did. We look at other areas in the country that used to be hotspots. There used to be even black spots for crime, but we know what has happened. Because why? Some people rose to the occasion. They were competent and they knew what to do. But we have a bunch of totally incompetent security chiefs. And if the president does not sack these people now, there will be a problem. There will be worse crisis. Why? Because, you see, when you put yourself in a position of conflict of interest, whereby you are a Fulani man, and the people who are causing this mayhem are Fulani herdsmen. Forget all the political correctness that pretenders know that they are just herdsmen. No, I don't know if we've started having Igbo herdsmen or Yoruba herdsmen, ravaging communities in the Middle West. It's as if the villagers don't know the people attacking them. So forget all that political correctness. But the issue is this. When you fail to act against a present danger, you know what happens? It assumes more terrible dimensions. Because you never know. You see ISIS. Now they'll be talking about ISIS, trying to push in the elements here and there. You are still dancing on the issue of Fulani herdsmen. I hope ISIS doesn't now infiltrate that group. And then we will know that we have been joking with a simple infection until it became a deadly epidemic.
Okay, just to bring it to the full notice now, President Muhammadu Buhari now during the week now made a statement, and he has said that he is competent enough to handle security challenges in the country, and of course he has also set up motives to reorganize security agencies and apparatus in the country. But now there are agitations now that there have been suspects being brought as Fulani headsmen but yet they have not been brought to book, and even recently 17 suspects were arrested concerning these Plateau killings. Now, what do you have to say concerning these agitations?
Well, I think those agitations are germane because the president needs to take very decisive actions which Nigerians have not seen. I monitored his visit to Plateau. He went there to be blaming community leaders, leadership from home. Is there for anybody to go and monitor and watch? You know, rather than addressing, because why the Amnesty International and the UN, they also indicting the president. He has not made categorical statements to condemn these people, to condemn the action of these people. And don't forget, our friend Ifere, in their last communique at the Lagos meeting, they said that the president has a conflict of interest.
Yes, it's conflict of interest.
That's what our friend Ifere said. As a grand patron of Yeti Allah, man, and the president of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. And if you watch the conflicting statements of leaders of Yeti Allah, the solution to this thing is obvious. They are presenting the solution. We're not saying arrest this man, prosecute them. Get these leaders. Come. What information do you have that we don't have? If let's assume that the president is not even aware of what doesn't have the details. You get this. What information do you have that we don't have? How can we get this? Who are these boys? How do we get this thing? And they can even solve the problem themselves. But that is not done. I do not want to believe that the service chiefs are incompetent. I do not want to believe. I would rather agree with the suspicion of the local people that there's a grand plan. Okay? Because I read the press statement of the Inspector General of Police on their findings in Benue, when they said they arrested armed dealers, people who were selling arms. Now, I went through the names. And they committed a blunder because there are also people who asked to have information. They also committed a blunder when they made reference to Ghana. You know, Ghana is a notorious, no, and that Ghana has been on the run for over 2 years now, after the governor's aid was killed. They not made reference to the Ghana, that Ghana, those people are selling arms to Ghana, is Ghana boys. Ghana is a thief man. He's not a herdsman, but he's known for criminalities in the state. That is no doubt. Okay? He has been on the run. So how can he now be on the run and come back to me? They're killing his own people. And his own people supplying to kill his own people. And I wonder what information is the IG giving to us? Okay? Now, the same IG, the president said, okay, that he didn't know that the man did not comply with his directive to relocate to Benue and went to Nasarawa. The same IG escorted the president to Bauchi when he went on working visit. So it's not about competence. It's about what is behind the scene. And that is what Nigerians should be looking at. And that is where the suspicion of the locals, okay, is becoming germane. That it's not about competence, it's not about, but there's a grand plan, okay? And even in Plateau, they are beginning to consider the advocacy of Tiwa Danjuma, the issue of self-defense. Yes. Because it has come to that. Because when the government fails to defend you, then you now find ways to defend yourself. Okay? But like he said, and this suspicion is right because there are issues. Each time the locals, they rise, because they always say we have the capacity to defend ourselves. Now, each time they rise, to say, okay, let us defend yourself. That is when the government will tell you, deploy security agents to be bombing them. No. The government will say we want to disarm. They now move into houses and pick the guns of people hunters. Yes. We got the same report from Southern Kaduna when they have to be picking guns of the hunters. Now, the same report also occurred in Benue. Okay? Then after that is done, they will say we have disarmed. Who are you disarming? You disarm before they strike and kill the people.
And foreigners will come and kill your citizens.
There is a grand plan.
So these are the issues.
It's a grand plan. Right from the presidency.
So,
the grand plan.
So the issue is beyond the competence of these people, but it's about, because if you saw the pictures, I saw a 4-year-old child that they tore the bowel, and the intestine was just out. A 6-month-old child, they had to cut his head, cut the hand, and cut the chest.
I have it on my phone here.
In fact, it got to a point that a friend on Facebook, she didn't care. She said that she doesn't care if Facebook should block her on this picture, that the world needs to see this. She just flew out. You saw the pictures of mass grave, mass burial. Then the president went and he's talking about community leadership, leadership from home, people that are being killed from outside. Then if he's talking about leadership, community leadership, he should, and that is what they are talking about, devolution of power.
Yeah.
You have powers you cannot exercise. You have powers you cannot use. Give to people who can use these powers. The other time, the governor of Zamfara State said he has resigned as the chief security officer of the state. He said, what should they be calling him chief security officer? And they are killing every day. He doesn't have control over the police. He doesn't have over this. And the Minister of Interior, when they say that it's failure of governance that is causing it, what failure of governance?
Okay, now the president has said that these are insinuations, and he insinuated that, of course, this actually plans to sabotage his government. Now, still with the agitations that people that have been arrested have not been, the suspect, they have not been brought to book. Victoria, let's have your take on that.
Well, as I said before, the Nigerians have the right to begin to blame the president. Because one of the reasons for those who voted for him was that being a former general, he was going to take security seriously. Because one of the reasons why they decided to vote out Jonathan then, even though I did not believe in him, was that issue of insecurity. Because that time Boko Haram were bombing some places, and they felt that Jonathan was not capable, and that this man Buhari, being a former general, that he was capable to, to bring sanity to the society. But I can tell you that there is more insecurity than before. The numbers of people that have been killed between 2015 and now, and between 2011 and 2015 that Jonathan left office, are not the same. The ones that have been killed between 2015 and now have outweighed the ones that were killed between 2011 and 2015. And that was under a civilian, somebody who did not know anything about security. So if we have somebody who was once a general and a former head of state, and people are being massacred like this, there's no reason for me to say I want to cast my vote for such a person for a second term. That is the truth. I can't deceive myself. Because if somebody cannot be protected, what is the essence of living? Look at the small children that were massacred. Somebody, I was on another program yesterday, and that person was saying that they were killing themselves. I said, you will say small children of 3 years that were killing themselves? Children that were not armed were killing themselves? You can see the sentiment people are painting. I said it there that because it has not gotten to some people, that is why they are taking side. That is why they are praising this government. There's no reason to praise the government.
Everybody has his own opinion.
Yes, you have your own opinion. If you have your own opinion and people are being killed,
ridiculous opinion saying that children are killing
that are killing themselves. A child of 3 years, a child of 2 years who does not know anything, they are killing themselves. I think it's like we don't have sense of reasoning.
What kind of opinion?
What do you feel should be the next line of action now, considering all the things that we've seen from last year, this year, the incessant killings? What do you think should be the next line of action?
Look, President Buhari should be the president of Nigeria. Henceforth, he should be the president of Nigeria. That statement, I belong to everybody and I belong to nobody, held no water. You're the president of Nigeria. You're the father of all Nigerians. The security, the well-being of all Nigerians is in the Constitution. Please, he should adhere to the oath of office he swore on May 29. He swore to on May 29, 2015. He should go and read that oath of office and let him abide by it. You see, every Nigerian deserves a right to be treated as a full citizen in this country. If this president sees it as an important duty, let me tell you something. These Fulani headsmen will fizzle out. They will disappear. All the president needs to tell them is that, hey, guys, even though you're my kinsmen, but enough is enough. I will no longer tolerate what you are doing to the image of my administration. And these guys will fizzle out. You see, it's no point. Why I said the security chief should be sacked is that even apart from the issue of headsmen, in other areas, there's so much insecurity across the country. There's so much insecurity. So you don't even see that plan. Let the IG come out and tell Nigerians his comprehensive plan for securing this nation. If there is a crisis, how will the police respond within the shortest possible time to that? If there's any crisis somewhere, you have crisis, you have numbers for people to call, emergency numbers and all of that. But how quickly do our security agencies respond to such crisis. You can check any area. Is it the maritime sector? Is it the coast? Look at the piracy going on. Read reports online. Look at all the piracy attacks on ships and all of that. Insecurity on Nigeria's coastal borders. Which place, is it even the airports that are secure? Is it the roads that are secure? Which place is secure? You may say, okay, crime has gone down in Lagos and some other states because the governors have pumped in so much resources, but you still see security agents getting involved in things they should not be a part of. The other time we were talking about SARS here. Yeah. Just after that, I traveled and I had an experience where, SARS operatives stopped the vehicle I was traveling in. They were asking, they saw that all the documents were complete, but they were still looking for something to hold until a fellow journalist came and rescued us. So what are we talking about? Somebody, the SARS operative saying, okay, to settle this thing, go and bring 20,000. He didn't know a journalist was standing beside him. So when you look at these things, how do you, what is the plan to reorientate your men? How can anybody justify that? Herdsmen attacked villages for 7 hours in broad daylight unchallenged. Listen, that is even a huge crime. You just redeploy the commissioner of police. That is not just enough. He was there trying to explain and all of that. Look, then Femi Adesina brought out a statement that more people were killed under PD. Come on, these people, I don't know if these people, I don't know. I don't know how to place these people. To bring out such a statement is a disgrace, is a disaster. That even if, let me tell you, even if 10 people were killed under Jonathan, and one person has been killed under Buhari, it is still a disgrace. Because you know what? It shows that your security architecture is not yet formidable enough. You don't hear killings like this in many other countries, like Israel. You don't hear of things like this in a lot of countries. Yes, ISIS, for instance, threatened that they will disrupt the World Cup. But so far, the World Cup has been proceeding, seamlessly. Why? It's not as if they won't be criminals. You can't wish them away. There will be people with evil intention. But your security architecture, your intelligence system should be such that there is no conflict of interest, because that's a major problem. When there's conflict of interest, if you like, you can assemble the best tanks, the best security agents. Somebody will just simply tell them to stand down, and while criminals can do what they like.
That is it.
But if you remove conflict of interest, that's why the President Buhari should be the president of all Nigerians. I challenge anybody to tell me how he has been president of all Nigerians. Then I'll ask you, go and wake up the dead people. Go and tell me the crime the dead people commit, those people who have been killed, the crime they committed, that they were butchered. What are the herdsmen doing with their vital parts, with their vital organs? If you say you are dragging land, why are you harvesting their vital organs? So who is behind all these heinous crimes? Who is behind it? Nigerians must say enough is enough. Look, this is not about politics. I'm not a politician. I'm not interested in whether APC, PDP, or whatever they call themselves. I'm interested in a country that works. A Nigeria that works for every Nigerian of any age, irrespective of tribe or anything. And right now, this country is not working. And, earlier I talked about the governors. The president recently signed the alteration bill, the constitutional alteration bill. It was these same governors, APC governors, that rejected restructuring. It was these same governors that rejected autonomy for local governments. These same governors. They were there when the National Assembly was doing this constitutional review. And they kept silent. When they should have reason enough to tell the president, listen, we need to be known as chief security officers in letters and in spirit, in the real sense of it. But they all sat back, compromised, kept quiet. The Zamfara governor was there. He kept quiet. And then now, shamelessly, he's saying he's resigning. That's a disgrace. What did you say when the National Assembly was going about doing constitutional review? What did you submit any memorandum to say, listen, the governors, I'm the chairman of the Nigerian Governors Forum, the governors need to be real chief security officers of their states. And they should be empowered. Let us debate this thing. Did he say so? So, why are they now wringing their hands like helpless school children? They are all complicit. If you refuse to put, these are demands, legitimate demands. All kinds of things came up. What saddened me most was the local government autonomy that they killed. Because you need to go to local governments. if you empower the local governments, let me tell you, nobody can just come in to an area and begin to kill people. No, 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 no. If the local government chairman is the chief security officer of the local government, he will do something. But you know what? Everybody goes on business as usual. You know, some people were thinking maybe that Nigeria would win, will beat Argentina, so that will be a very convenient cover for the crisis. But unfortunately, their wish didn't come to pass. And we are back to this